Hey guys, so going to film a video today. It's day 2 of SiouxperCon and day 2 of Kingoween. So I figure I'm just going to combine the two of them together. And make one video for both of them. So went back to the con today. Actually, it was very good. Didn't buy anything. I think I bought everything that I wanted to buy yesterday. Unless I do go back tomorrow. See, John's actually volunteering, so I go and see him while he's volunteering there. So if I do go back tomorrow, I may actually hit the poster guy up again for a couple more, because since I was so good today and didn't spend any money, I might do that tomorrow and see if they're offering any deals. Because sometimes at these places, on the last day, they'll cut you a deal. So I'm going to check that out. But what I was able to do today is, and I think I'd shown some pictures of these on my Instagram earlier, where they were variant covers of the Stray Dogs comic books. Here's a Pet Cemetery kind of variant cover, and here's Cujo kind of variant cover. This is the trade, and this is actually the local comic shop Rainbow specific trade. So that's very cool. And I was able to get it, there we go, autographed. And that's Tony Fleeks. I think it's Fleeks. Tony Fleeks. He autographs at AMF, so I'm assuming his first name is Anthony. But I thought that was so cool. I got them both autographed. And so Stephen King related. And so I was thinking, well, how does that tie into King? Well, a lot of people may not realize, but King actually has a lot of connections to comic books. Other than, The Stand, they have, a set of comic books for The Stand. They have a set of comic books for The Dark Tower. He has one for his short story N. There's even comic books for The Talisman. So he's got a lot of comic books of his work. But he also has written some comic books. And he actually wrote, it's only a 5-series part. It was the first run of American Vampire. And I got some covers here you can see. But yeah, American Vampire, he actually wrote that. Scott Snyder, Raphael Albuquerque, and Stephen King. Or Albuquerque. I'm horrible at names, and Stephen King. So I thought that was very cool. So, I only have 1, 2, 3, and 5. I don't think I actually have number 4. No, I have 4, 3, 2, and 1. So I don't have number 5. So it was a 5-series run. And there's more issues than that, but he was only involved in the first 5. So I thought that was kind of cool. And it ties in with SiouxperCon being comic book related. Now this one isn't specifically actually King. He didn't write anything of it, but when I show it to you, I think you get where the inspiration for the cover came from, and it's very King related. It's Deceased. It's a Batman story, and it says "You'll Die Too," and it's the Joker holding a balloon to a Robin in a yellow cape, very It and Georgie like. So I had to pick that and throw that in my collection. I thought that was pretty cool. Then we have the anniversary issue number 400 of Batman. I believe it came out in like 1986. October of 86, so we're on the anniversary of that, and it's got the special introduction by Stephen King, and in it he basically talks about how Batman was one of his favorite comic book characters, and he explains why. So I thought that was a cool one to get added into the collection. Then the next one's a little bit of a unique one as well for King. It's Archie's The American Series Best of the 40s with a foreword by Stephen King. So there again, he does the introduction to it and talks about, growing up reading comics and how it affected his life and influenced him, things like that. So very cool. Different take. You don't usually think of King and Archie together. And then this last one I have is another kind of weird, unique take on it. It was a promotional kind of charitable comic that came out in the 80s, I believe it was. It was The Heroes for Hope, starring the X-Men. And all proceeds from the comic book are being donated to the famine relief recovery in Africa. And here's the cover. And here's the back. And the thing is, what they did is they had different people write different pages of the story. It's one long story, but every different page was written by a different author. And I think he wrote like page 12 or page 13, or maybe it was 12 and 13. So kind of another interesting connection to Stephen King, also connected to comics. So that was pretty much everything that I have for him comic-wise. Now I do actually have some, you can kind of see them behind me there. I have some magazines and, Playboys, because he does a lot of stories in Playboys. He also wrote a lot of stories in some more risky adult magazines. I don't actually have any of those, but I'm not opposed to them. I just haven't come across them for a decent price. I also have several issues of the Castle Rock newsletter from the 80s. I picked up a lot of about 33 issues of that out of I think 55, so I've got a good chunk of that, so that was pretty exciting to get added to my collection. And then some heavy metal magazines where he's written stories, like USA Today that has one of his stories in it, a copy of Creepshow, and yeah, I think that's pretty much what I have in those. So, you know, a lot of multimedia that King has been involved in. So I think it's cool. You know, he's in comics. He's everywhere. So I hope everyone's having a great day, having a great weekend, and I hope everyone's staying safe and keep reading.